Hi, gang. Good morning. Hello. How's it going? Oh, I gotta get the twinkle lights on. That's nice. Just ran upstairs from getting coffee. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. No, happy weekend. Happy Saturday. I was so used to saying happy Friday all day yesterday. We are spinning. We're spinning the fluffs. We're spinning fluff into yarn for socks, and then we're going to knit them. We did this series last year for those of you just joining us. So we took a braid of this fiber. We divided up into 4 parts. So I got 4 chunks of it. We're going to spin them all into singles. We're going to apply them together, and then we're going to knit them into socks all on stream. We're going to do a little craft project together so that you guys can kind of see what goes into making hand spun socks. We did it for fun last year because I was tired of people asking how long it took and it was so much fun. We're doing it again. So there you go. Let's get our closed captioning on. As always, if you don't like it, you can toggle the closed captioning off, or you should be able to click the box and change move it around, up and down, side to side, squash it, move it, change the font, size or type, whatever you would like. Let's see, we have transcoding. I think we are good to go. Get my socks on. For one, spinning always makes my feet cold, but for 2, I don't need to be showing them off. Lemming! You're the first one here. Good morning. We're spinning today. I'm putting socks on. My cat is attacking my foot. Yeah, these smell like you. You were laying on me last night, remember? Give my foot back. There's a pearl monster on the floor. Yarncrafter's Corner, good morning. You're never first? Well, today you are. You're the first comment in my stream. Well, that reminds me, I should put the bot on. Ah, floor monster, why? Ow, ow, ow. Ow, it's our safe word, ow. All right, now unhook. Unhook your stanky little paws, thank you. There's a pearl monster on the floor. She does listen to the safe word. She just doesn't want to. So when I say ow, she stops biting. And it's always play biting. But the claws very slowly retract because she doesn't want to let go. This cat is the perpetual toddler who just learned what the word no means, but forever. You're the first lady. Lemming, you're the first lady of my heart. Does that count? All right, bot's going. Let's try this setup. So we haven't streamed spinning with the new setup, so we're gonna see how it goes. Faint. 9.5 got the EEW6. I did not hear that. Last I heard she was making a Doberman. I think she was trying to finish that up on stream yesterday. All the cool kids have an electric wheel. I don't know where I'd put it. I don't have room on my desk is the problem. Boop. All right. Nope, that's not it. Hang on. Just kidding. Here we go. Yeah. You like mine better? I like it because people can see it. She popped in yesterday and she mentioned that she got it. That's fun. Pearl. Ow. Ow. There's a monster. Ow. I'm gonna get that tum. I'm gonna get it. No, not the tum. Now she's doing the cat thing. You don't need to look at that. Y'all don't need to see the cat thing. She's a cutie pie. Although her nails were trimmed. Is the problem. Clearly, I will need to retrim them. All right, hang on. We're gonna have to do some finagling. The problem is I moved my microphone stand over to this side, so now my microphone stand and my camera are bumping uglies. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this. I think we need to zoom out. All right, you guys are my testing group, so thanks for being part of this beta. Y'all didn't know you were gonna be part of. This isn't. Dear microphone. Alright, sorry guys. I'm sorry if this is making anyone seasick, or car sick, or motion sick. Please tell me. There we go. I think we got it. Let's tighten this puppy up quick. Tighten this bit. Yeah. Hang on. I almost got it. I gotta tighten this ring thing. It's too tight. Girl. Yeah. What I wouldn't give for a Holocaust cloak right now. Yeah. I don't have anything grippy up here. I have to do it the old-fashioned way. All right. Almost there, guys. Thank you for your patience. Dismantling my stream setup. It's fine. All right, I think we got it. Let's find out. Let's reattach the camera. Test group today. Hey, there we are. Nailed it. Okay. Boop. There we go. Yeah. All right. Yeah, boop. Now y'all can see what I'm doing. How nice. Yarn Crafters Corner, Lemming, how are y'all doing? The shakin' bacons. What's happening? Floor monster strikes again. She loves this wool. I don't know what it is about this specific braid. Back. She's freaking in love with this thing. Back. Stop licking it. Ew. Ah. No. Let go. Yeah, let go. Let go, my go. We are spinning wool into yarn. We're spinning this fluff, this wool, into yarn. But the cat floor monster is attacking us. So far, Floor Monster 2, Streamer 0. Good morning, Punk Pixie. Now look at this cute, adorable monster. Remember when I talked to you about that evening I popped into your Discord before I headed off to bed when you wanted to see movie? Yes, I do remember the conversation. Yeah, weird bits of... Alright. Floor Monster's loving it. Floor Monster is having a ball. Floor Monster's not used to toys so early in the morning. She's very happy. Hey, gang. Get the whole gang here. Noog Day, good morning. Twitch say good morning. What are you looking at? Welcome. If you have questions, please let me know. Lava, good morning. Someday I will learn never to give things a second chance. Some things deserve a second chance and some things do not. Floor Monster is now attacking her favorite bag. I want to show you, but I'm worried about... We just fixed the camera, so I can't move it. There's a Publix wine bag that's getting it today. Just thinking about what it's done. It's fine. It's rolling around on the floor. We're gonna proceed. Wonder if Floor Monster dreams of yarn. Floor Monster dreams of wool. Floor Monster thinks that wool smells and tastes delicious. She especially loves the smell of wool wash. Her name is Pearl. URRL. She's a really good cat, except string. String is her weakness. One weakness. A floor monster's searching for other things to attack. Let's get this started. This is the hardest part. Make sure it kind of catches. Go into a little more depth about what the heck I am doing. Attention. This isn't the Terror of Trollenberg. Hi, Perkins. Whole gang's here today. Ready to cause a ruckus. Lucky me. Yeah, now we got our spindle started. So let me take a look. Bash, good morning. I am spinning. We are spinning all of this cotton candy floof that we divided up and weighed last week. Just gonna redraft this a little bit to loosen it up. Cats are literally tear-assing around. So for those of you just joining us, or those of you who weren't here last year, we did a Floof to Foot series where I showed how to, or the process I do, I should say, for spinning wool into socks and then making handmade socks out of them, and how great they looked and how the different effects you could kind of get and how unique they were. And it was really fun last summer. So we're doing the same thing. So we're going to be spinning, flying, and knitting this into a pair of socks all together on stream. At least on Saturdays, possibly during our weekday streams as well. Undecided. You love the colors? I adore the colors in this. Someone said it was all the flavors of cotton candy. Which seemed appropriate. I'm cutting this off because I don't want too much stuff dragging on the floor for said floor monster. So we took a big old braid. We divided it and weighed it into 4 parts. So this is the very first spin. So this is the first ply. So we're gonna do 4 singles, and then we're gonna apply it together. I'll soak it to set the twist off stream. Bit of bath. I'll also get, if there is any leftover dye in there, it's the last chance to get the dye out. Although I don't anticipate there being much dye from this, if any. And then we'll knit it into socks together. Together. Lemming, if you need anything, you let me know. Just trying to get the feel for this, because I was definitely I was definitely spinning something else previously. You can see I just finished this other spin, which is very fun. And this is definitely drafting much smoother, so I need to make sure I don't make it too thin, or we'll get like lace weight socks, and that's not as fun. So for the hooks, it pulls it down the bobbin to fill the bobbin evenly. It's always one of the big questions. When you're spinning, do you always know how you'll be using it? No, I don't, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to spin with a project in mind. When I first started spinning, I would just spin to get the hang of it, to get used to it, to try different fibers, to try different techniques, just to kind of see, you know, figure out the muscle memory, figure out the tension to it. And then I would start practicing, like, okay, I want to make this a fingering weight yarn. I want to make this a DK weight yarn. So now that I've got fingering down pat, most of the stuff I like to knit is fingering. I almost said I'm a whore for fingering. Where's the lie? I love fingering weight yarn. So now my goal is to start spinning with a project in mind, to be more mindful of my spinning, because I have some hand spun. I have a lot of hand spun that I did as practice. That's great, and it's perfectly usable, but like I have no idea what project I'm going to put it in, and I want to knit with more of my hand spun. I don't want my hand spun just sitting in my stash, if I can at all possibly help it. What you looking at? Thank you for the follow, by the way. I think I missed it earlier. So thank you. You popped in while Floor Monster was attacking. She's like our best behaved cat, but when she gets wound up, she is like she's a monster. Wonder if there's different ways of spinning depending upon how it's going to be used. Yes, there are tons of different ways of spinning. So So I do a very short draft where I specifically want the twist to come right up to where the yarn is. Oh, you guys can't see this. Scooch closer. There we go. So I'm doing a very short draft where I let the twist come right up into the yarn. You can do a long draft where you pull it out and then let the twist come in. Letting the twist come right up makes it stronger, so it's better for like socks, whereas the other way makes it very light and fluffy, which makes it wonderful for like anything you want squishy, like hats and sweaters. And then there's a different ways. There's a billion different ways to ply it. I just do it into 4 plies and then ply it all together because I like a rounder yarn. You could do it to where you ply 2 together and then ply those 2 together. You could do it where you ply 3 together and then have 1 rainbow stripey on the outside kind of thing. I could do it into just 3. I could do 1 thicker ply and then chain ply it, which makes it 3 plies, which is not ideal for socks. But there's a ton of different ways of spinning it. And then when we were splitting it up, we were taking the braid and splitting it into 4 parts. I was talking about all the different ways that you could split it depending upon what color effect you wanted. So the fiber prep. So I could spin it exactly the same way, but depending upon how I prepped the fiber, it could have come out like 8 different ways. So it's kind of, it's a choose your own adventure kind of thing, which is very fun as a spinner. Because there's a lot of options, and then one of the bonuses of spinning it is I get to make sure that it comes out exactly how I want it to, which is very fun. Shredding this yarn. And again, I don't have to do it into 4 plies. I could have done it into just 3 plies. I could have done 2 really thick plies, although that wouldn't be nearly as strong for socks. I could do 5 super crazy thin cobweb plies if I really wanted to. But 4-ply fingering seems to be my default spinning. Thank goodness, because that's what I like to spin. Just a bit confused. Can't blame me there. Auto host didn't choose me. But Pikachu, I choose you. Rude auto host. Auto host is probably like, she can't get her camera act together. We'll just wait. Or if I need to pull the camera back so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Hang on, RIP people. Motion sick people. Hang on. Sorry guys. We were talking about earlier how I'm trying to get the hang of this new setup. There we go. Now you guys can see what I'm doing. Also, this is just a pillowcase. Although you could get a fancy apron for spinning. I don't usually use an apron or anything. I just have this so it's easier for y'all to see. My appearance on Damien's stream last night was pretty funny. I didn't, well, I guess I did kind of appear. I was like, I didn't physically pop on, but I kept coming into the office and yelling things at him, so that counts. I think it upsets him. I think he'd rather I just hop into Discord and hang out. But I was up and about cleaning the office, so that's what he got. If he wanted me to be involved in his stream, that's how it happened. Did you start with the drop spindle or with the larger reel? No, I started with a drop spindle, with a Turkish spindle specifically. And I loved it so hard. I did a full, I did a lot of testing on it. I got, on Etsy, there was like a woman who did Rolex, but she'd always have like these leftover ones that like weren't quite the right size or were just like a little too heavy, or she had like, it was a pack of 4, but she had blended up enough to make 5 kind of deal. So she had all these like mystery Rolex that she's just like leftover colorways that didn't quite fit. So I got like a huge bag of those. And I would just, I would spin up 2 of them and then I'd put them in a jar. What I would do is I'd put them in a sports bottle with the hole for the straw to keep them in the jar. And then I would ply them together. So I had a ton of 2-ply yarn as practice. And then I did a giant braid that was a 2-ply lace weight that I have that I really want to knit something with. Here we go. It's this one. It's like this watercolor purple blue palette. It's gorgeous. So it's just a good old 2-ply lace weight, and it was delightful. It took forever to ply. It was a pain to ply because I did it all on a spindle and then spliced it together. So someday I'm gonna knit something out of this. I really like it. It exactly reminds me of Monet's Water Lilies Punk Pixie Blue. I call it my water lily skein. Let's see if we can get a little crisper action for you. It's all purples and greens and blues, and it's delicious. Now, but I haven't figured out anything I want to knit with it yet. Because it's a practice yarn, it's too thick and thin to do like the traditional lace shawl that has like a pattern in it, because it would obstruct the pattern because the yarn isn't as consistent as it should be. So I just need to find like a fun like lace weight triangle kind of deal that's got like a small edging or something to it, or has like has some eyelets or something easy to it. But then I got frustrated with how much I could or couldn't fit on a spindle and how long it was taking. And I was like, this is not a good long-term solution. And I wanted a wheel. And by that point, I was already hooked on spinning. It's not like my spinning was going to decline at any point. So then I went ahead and I invested in a wheel. And at first I had gotten this one because it was the only one I could afford. It is the IKEA of spinning wheels, but I've kept it because it's perfect for exactly what I need. It has a built-in lazy Kate, and it's super light, so I can move it around the office myself, and it tucks up in the corner really nice because it's so compact. Also, the other spinning wheel that I want is like $1,000, $1,500 kind of deal, and I'm just not ready to commit when this suits me just fine. Bash, this was absolutely my first week doing only Disney, and it was delightful. Everyone was excited to have me back. I got to do a ton of one-on-ones, to meet up with everyone, to catch up. I didn't feel exhausted at the end of every day. I've had so much energy all week, which was nice. I didn't have to spend 2 hours a day driving, so I had all this extra time where I got to sleep in the morning. And actually got to have dinner with Damien every night after work instead of having to worry about rushing around and doing this crazy nonsense. It was the best. I think the only thing that really was a bug in the plan was that I think my COVID shot made me very tired this week. So I did sleep a lot. But the good news was I was working from home, so I got to take a nap on my lunch break. So it was delightful. Thursday's stream was canceled because after work I didn't take a nap during my lunch break, and I got out early on Thursday because I was like, oh good, I'm gonna get out at 4:30. I'm gonna take a 45-minute nap. I'm gonna have dinner, and then I'm gonna stream. And then I got into bed and it was all warm and I didn't want to get out of bed, so I just stayed there all night. And I canceled the stream from the bed. And did I feel bad? Yes. Did it make me feel bad enough to get out of bed? Oh. Now you all know my shame. Didn't wanna. That spindle's a bit... The wheel, yeah, it's way... Well, both the wheel and the spindle. So I started with a Turkish spindle, which isn't a new concept, but it was a 3D printed Turkish spindle, so it would spin forever. So it was way more modern. And then this wheel is definitely more modern, which is why it is less, a lower price point. It's also made of pressed wood instead of hardwood. A lot of wheels are like solid wood, which does make them more sturdy and helps them last longer. And then you can do things like polish it and keep the wood nice. So that's why this is literally the IKEA of wheels, because nothing's like solid wood. But it's made by Woolmakers Bliss. You can do !wheel to see which wheel I'm using if you want a better vantage point of it. But it's a sub company of Louette, so they still know what they're doing. It's just not the world's fanciest wheel. Carrie-ish, good morning. I'm doing great. Good morning, Dan. We're hanging out. We're getting the spin started. If you guys are having a hard time seeing or you need a close-up or something, let me know. Otherwise we're making sock yarn, and then we're gonna knit it all together. This is that same cotton candy floof we were playing with last week. Nap sounds like a great idea. I did not want to get out of bed this morning either. Speaking of which, I have coffee that I have not sipped. How to remedy that. We got right into it this morning. Normally I sit around and I gab for forever while I drink my coffee. And this morning I was like, nope, we got socks to spin. I'll take a picture of this before I go back and double up on the spindle. But the gradient on this is already uber delicious. Let me see if I can turn the lighting down on one of them. You have a big day today, though. Anything good? I have a big day. Ginger Zone's coming to visit. Let's see if we can pull this down. Pull this side up. Oh, makes my face camera look a little bit weird, but now you can see the spinning a little bit better. Here, we'll do this. Look at how delicious this is. It's like the perfect cotton candy gradient. It's delicious. Put this together. You have the best news. I want to hear. I want to hear. Your friend is picking up Punk Bunny any minute, and then after work, you're going to pick up Punk Bunny at the camper and stay for dinner with your friend. That's delightful. Ginger's on my sister's coming over. Having a sister weekend. She's going to come over and spend the night. So I'm very excited. Punk Pixie, what's your news? Dying to hear. Sarah found a loom on the side of the road. I'm assuming it's in perfect working order and is delightful. I hope. I hope. Has all the parts. It's a Newcomb Weaver's Delight, and it's half cast iron. It took 2 hours to move. That I believe. That I can absolutely believe. Cast iron. Wow. That's got to be like a $10,000 loom. I have no idea. It's got to be stupid money. Gonna need a little love, but it was a shuttle fly and automatically changes the shaft when you beat. Well, that's freaking awesome. So you're telling me that there's this super cool, super sturdy loom on the side of the road with all the parts and all the fancy toys, and nobody thought that they could get anything for it? They were just like, get it out of my house. Sectional warping beam. Is that the one to where it has like all the pegs on the side? Now you have to explain what a sectional warping beam is. I keep telling myself that I'm not gonna weave because there's no space for a loom, and then Punk Pixie keeps making it sound super awesome. You're gonna assemble it in Sarah's house on Sunday. Heck yeah. With the pegs. Okay. I do remember giving me a tour on craft night. Your loom tours are super exciting to me. Super exciting. I keep telling myself I can't weave because there's no room in this house. And there really isn't. Also, I need another hobby, like I need another hole in my head. That's how you hook Sarah. Aww. It's also different because she can come over to your house and play with all your toys. Like, I'm pretty sure if I was playing with weaving, I'd never want to stop. And that's why I haven't gone to, like, a fancy meeting. Why enable myself? Hands-on is addicting. Heck yeah. You need a rigid heddle. It hangs on the wall. The problem is what I need is something that I can set up and collapse, so I can put it up in front of the closet and then take it down and move it to the side. Just don't have a big enough house. Because we're in a townhouse. And we were talking about moving into like a standalone house in our same neighborhood because it's a mix of townhomes and regular houses. And then we were laughing because housing prices have skyrocketed in Florida and we literally could not afford to buy in our own neighborhood again. Rigid heddle with a stand then. I don't need you to tell me what to Google later. No, I probably will. I don't need to weave. I barely have time to knit and spin all the things I want to knit and spin. I don't need a new addiction. I'll just take up drugs. It sounds cheaper and easier at this point. And takes up way less space. That's a quote that should go on a shirt or a sticker. I'll just take up drugs. It sounds easier and cheaper. Lemming, enjoy your nap. Weekends are made for naps. I hope it's delightful. Ginger Zone is still working overnights, so she's heading home and she's taking a nap. But then after her nap slash bedtime, she's gonna come over. We're gonna do spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. My husband Damien's gaming. And then we have a full sister night planned. I'm very excited. I'm trying to, well, I have peer pressured her into knitting socks. Rigid Heddle is also the best for hand spun because there's less waste. I feel like when you're a weaver, there's never really waste. Like, it just goes in a bucket somewhere and then it'll go into a scrap rug later. I don't need to weave. I don't need to weave. I don't need to weave. So yeah, Ginger Zone's coming over. So I peer pressured her, not this year but last year, into doing Sock Madness with me. And she knit her very, very, very first sock ever was the qualifying sock for Sock Madness 14. Which actually she really likes. And was funny enough made of recycled yarn. It was made out of yarn from a pair of socks that didn't fit either of us, that we unwove in preparation. Which was very fun. So now we've been going, so now we're doing, our plan this year is to do a sister knit along, a sister sock along all year to get her caught up on a lot of sock techniques that she missed out on so she could be better at Sock Madness. Because this year she was a cheerleader and I think she knit the qualifier sock. And then she's like, these socks are getting real crazy real fast. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, let's do practice socks. And I said, okay. So now we're going back. You can also knit the leftovers. Oh, that's true. But for her birthday, so she has some self-striping yarn that's Supernatural themed, and she loves it because she loves the show Supernatural. And it's like her golden skein. It's the one thing that she got that she loves too much to knit with. And I've been trying to convince her to just let it go and to knit with this yarn. So what I did is I got her a second skein of socks self-striping yarn for her birthday this year in May. And here it is. It's super fun looking. It's called My Therapist Was Right. My therapist was right about you. So we're gonna do a sister knit along where we do self-striping socks and afterthought heels and an afterthought short row heel, so she can get used to that idea. So that way she'll have the confidence to finally knit her super fancy Supernatural yarn. So we're gonna be starting our first sister along. Your husband is a Dean girl. That's really funny. I sadly have not seen it. So I think what will be happening is my sister will attempt to get me hooked, and I will need to sit down and watch like the first 2 episodes of it. Will have to be the trade-off. But cats. Knowing nothing about the show, I'm a huge Castile fan. But that could absolutely change very quickly. No, if I ever actually watch it. There is a shawl that is supernatural themed that I want to knit, but I feel dirty thinking about knitting it when I haven't seen the show yet, when I promised I would watch a couple of episodes. Pigtails here. Oh well. I'll just have to be extra careful. Let's look. It's gorgeous looking, but I know I should watch the show. Now you have to dig up the old DVDs again. I haven't ever actually sat down and watch it, and I really should. I know I should. I know this. Reel this puppy in. All right. It's a shawl thing. It's one color. I'm pretty sure it's called Castile. Oh, tell me it's not one of those ones to where they removed it. I'm worried that it's one of those ones they took off Ravelry. Which is fine when they tell me they're taking patterns off of Ravelry, but not okay when they just disappear. There we go. Found it. Nailed it. We're fine. Everything's safe. We're fine. So we're all safe here. Show you guys without causing fits. There we go. Oop. There we go. It's this one. I'll link it here in a hot second. I just really want to knit it. It looks gorgeous. It looks like Wang's. I know this is a thing. There we go. Someday I will knit this. Holy heck, that is gorgeous. I know. I know. I won't sit. I feel like if I should knit that shawl based on Supernatural, though, I really should watch a couple episodes of Supernatural. There's also one where somebody knit it in like this deep burgundy blood red that looks astounding. Yes, please. There we go. So that's my weekend sorted. So Ginger Zone's gonna spend the night. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do that. And then gonna have waffles and bacon for brunch on Sunday morning, and then she's gonna head out. I'm very excited. Noah Pierce, hello. Thank you for being here today. Allie Moy, thank you for being here today. I totally didn't hear the alert. I am so sorry. I need to change the volume on them, but I haven't gotten back around to fixing it after our Papers, Please eardrum fiasco. Just like, everything's quiet? Good. Let's just keep it that way. After accidentally blowing out all of your eardrums last time I streamed. I don't know if you guys can hear my bobbin chattering. It's because I haven't been filling it evenly. Isn't yarn spinning so calming? It is. It's delightful. I adore it. I'm just happy any of you guys show up to watch it. Look at those feet go! Hey, Sturgis. Jammy Jeepers, good morning. You're watching with no sound for a bit because your sound is on low. This is looking pretty. Thank you. Rasta Pasta, my love. Hello. How is it going? How are you, my dear? You've not gotten to chat. Hope you're doing well. For those of y'all just coming back in, or coming in, or for anyone who didn't hear, we're doing, this is our second annual Floof to Foot spin. We did the same thing last summer, and it was a ton of fun, and it was super cool for all of you non-spinners to kind of see what goes into it. So we're doing the exact same thing. So we picked a braid of yarn, by we I mean me, although everyone who's seen it has fallen in love, so I feel like the decision would have been pretty unanimous if you guys had had the choice. So we picked out a braid of yarn. We're spinning it up for socks, and then so we're going to spin it into 4 singles. We're going to ply it, and we're going to knit it all into socks all together on stream so you guys can see the full process and how long it takes and all of the fun stuff. All Crafty, good morning. You should get TTS, then you don't have to pay attention to chat as much. That sounds like it would be super annoying for everyone who had to watch, though. I hate listening to TTS on people's streams. Because I just read it on chat and now I have to hear it again. And also that Robot Wench says everything's so friggin' deadpan. I'm good. Doing great. Just moved into your new house. Congrats! I knew life things were going on. I didn't know the extent or the speed, so that makes me very happy. Getting things taken care of. Finding the will to get out of bed and finish building your bookshelf. And picking out a bed set. And doing this and doing that. Noah Pierce, if you do !wheel, it'll take you to the link for this spinning wheel. If you are new to spinning, I do recommend getting a drop spindle first to kind of get the hang of it. But if you're not new to spinning, this is a fabulous wheel. It's a wonderful beginner's wheel and beyond. Like it's not the wheel I'll have forever, but my goodness, does it do everything you could ever possibly need it to do in the meanwhile. It is a woolmaker's bliss. It does ship from the Netherlands, but it is extremely reasonably priced. It is the IKEA of spinning wheels, as I've said, compared to other wheels. I do also highly recommend, if you have a local yarn shop, they often have like spinning events, even if they don't sell spinning wheels. And I would recommend going there and trying out other people's those wheels first before getting a spinning wheel. I don't have that option. I don't have a local yarn shop. And at the time, I didn't know anyone who spun in the area. So I got this puppy sight unseen, but it is delightful. And the only reason I say if you haven't spun to try a drop spindle first is just because you know, this is a budget wheel, but it's still like four to $500 US. The wheel. The fiber is delicious. This is Jakira Farms. Yes. 19.5 micron merino, and my goodness, is it delicious. There is nothing I've bought from this Etsy shop that I've not absolutely fallen in love with. It's time. Go back. Go back, Marty. My grandmother had some really old wheels she was trying to restore, but she just made them worse. Oh, Grandma, no. Finally, we'll have time to spend more time with Damien and the gang. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. There we go. If you guys just want to get a better look at it, since you're viewing this from a very odd angle, that's also what the wheel looks like. It comes in single treadle or double treadle, but I recommend the double treadle because I can pedal this with only one wheel if I really wanted to, but double treadles are much easier because it keeps the spin more even. It's easier to learn on. And I think is more relaxing. But I'm biased. Oh. Go. This is what we're spinning today, Jakira Farms. You guys can see, well, you can see the name. It's on Etsy. They're delightful. They have a ton of stuff to choose from. But they only dye like 3 or 4 of every colorway of that fiber content. So if you see it, buy it because it won't be there the next time you go back for it. So they're amazing for like 1 or 2 skein kind of projects. They don't really do sweater quantity, although I haven't ever reached out to ask them if they would consider it. But they have the most gorgeous color combos. I don't know if you guys remember that kind of silvery grayish color we spun right before Christmas that ended up being Ginger Zone's Christmas present. But that was the same folks, same maker. Overhaul, okay, my dude. I am showing off the socked feet. These are also socks I hand knit. These are some of my first socks I ever knit. What they need is a shave. Oh no. Got it. These poor socks need a good shave. That's what they need. I've heard of people who spin dog hair, so definitely try it. No. Dog hair is not meant to be spun. It's too short. Dog hair is so short compared to sheep hair. It doesn't have the same crimp. Most dog hair is very straight. And it's either very wiry or very fine. And what you want is you want something with a curl to it. Crimp. So you can spin with dog hair, but my goodness, why? Don't listen to the internet. Don't do it. It is possible, but working fine. Why would you do it? Everyone's like, you should spin with your cat hair. And I was like, it's not over everything enough. I should actively seek it out. No, thank you. Yeah, because sheep hair is long. Let's look. So this is a shorter micron, but this is still a good 3 inches. Cat hair is also slippery, yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this curl to it. There's a cramp. It's crampy. Let's double that up. That's a little just trying to get the bottom of this bobbin decently filled. There we go. Do you like some Tunis fiber? What is Tunis fiber? I don't know if I've heard of that before. The neighbors start hiding your dogs because your socks look suspiciously familiar. No. First of all, my neighbor's dogs, I would not ever get close enough to. They're not used to other humans. So they're vicious every time I go out to take the recycling out. They all stick their noses under the fence and snarl at me. Second of all, I would be much happier if the neighbor's dogs just disappeared. Yappy. And the small one now has taken to howling every time they put it outside alone. It hates it. So now I have to sit there listening to it howl for 15 minutes before the neighbors get fed up and bring it back inside. I have opinions about the neighbors' dogs. Oh, opinions. You met a chow chow with the longest, fluffiest hair ever. My first thought was, OMG, I want to shave the poor thing for its fleece. My friend had a dog who had the softest coat ever and would often would not only allow you but enjoyed you using the dog as a pillow on the couch. So after this dog passed, I was talking to the owner and she goes, I had this thought for like 2 days where I was thinking about having him taxidermied as a rug. She's like, cause how soft would that be? And I was like, that would be kind of morbid. And she goes, well, that's why eventually he was cremated. But man, did I really think about it. I think the vet thinks I'm crazy. Now we have to find a new vet. She's also our dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons. So she's great company. That's how one of my good friends almost had a taxidermy dog blanket for their couch. I'd say get into spinning wool first before you start spinning your dog's hair. I'd say don't spin your dog's hair. It just seems super weird to me. It kind of creeps me out. I don't like it. Then again, I've never really met a dog that I would consider actually spinning up. Would I use that dog as a blanket? 1,000%. Would I have spun its hair into yarn? No. It would make terrible socks. I don't need that hanging around my neck. A scarf? I think that's hot enough as it was. Neighbors' dogs, pit bulls, they are vicious AF. Our neighbors, one of them is a pit bull and one of them is a French bulldog. And the problem with the pit bull, again, it's a gorgeous animal. And when I look out from upstairs into the patio, like, it's always trying to play and run around. But the problem is they never take it where it can run around. It's cooped up in this townhome because they're in the townhome next to us. It's cooped up in a townhome with a tiny bricked-in patio, and they never take it down to the dog park to let it run around. So it's this pit bull with all this pent-up energy, where the only time it goes outside is to do its business walking up and down the street, and never gets to meet other people. It never meets other humans. It only meets the family members in the house. It doesn't have any interaction. It doesn't have any training. They never tell it no. It's this poor dog, through no fault of its own, is a terrible pet. And I used to feel really bad for it, and now I'm just real mad at the neighbors. And then they got a second dog, and now there's this little yappy French bulldog that's its constant companion that just howls when you stick it outside alone because, shocking, it hates it. And then sometimes they'll put usually they'll put the pit bull in the garage and the bulldog in the patio, and then they just stand at the garage door yapping at each other through the door until the neighbors get sick of it and bring them in. And I'm just like, I don't know if you know this, but your dogs don't want to be outside dogs. Also, you shouldn't have gotten a pit bull in a tiny little 4-bedroom townhouse. You should have gotten small dogs for your small house. You shouldn't have had a large dog without a yard. And again, like the first 2 weeks that they owned it, they didn't have a collar for it. They were literally using one of the girls' belts as a collar, which made me laugh. A Pomeranian is a good candidate. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying some people wouldn't prefer it. Just saying the thought of spinning dog hair into wool, into yarn, I should say, it feels gross and icky. It doesn't feel the same. After spinning really good wool and really good alpaca and silk and rose fiber, going back to dog hair just seems like a huge step back that I just don't need. Maybe I'm just a yarn snob now. I don't know. A doggo blanket would be just creepy. People should try it and see whether it's for them. There is absolutely no judgment if that's something that you want to do for you. I'm just a huge no thank you at this point. Chaos. Frenzies are nice to you if you were nice to it. Patties need to have a big yard to run. Yeah. They never have anywhere to go. And the problem is we have a huge park outside of our house, but it's not fenced in. So they never let it run off the leash because obviously it's huge and vicious and has never talked to other humans before. So that's not great. But they like never take it out to run or play fetch. They never take it down to the dog park from what I see. Like I literally see them when I'm out and about driving, like they'll take it out and they'll go up the street, down the street, and then back. And I always hear when they take this thing out because it's always barking at everything in sight. And then once it got out and was running up and down the street, chasing after people, barking. because the neighbor girl, she was so dumb. She put it out in the garage, but she didn't realize the garage door was open. So then it just left and then came around to the front of the house and was barking to get in. Frenchies are super hard to care for. Most of them are allergic to human dander. Yeah. These people should not be allowed to own pets, let alone have gotten a second one, is all I have to say about that. And I'm just not a fan of our neighbors at all. Just don't seem like the brightest folks when it comes to pet care. Drive me bananas. And make me crazy. As a person who has warned my fiance I plan to own at least a single bookcase of oddities we find in our travels, I will now be searching for a dog hair knitted item for the collection. Rasta, you're gonna have to go somewhere else to get it. You're not gonna get it from me. Sorry. Putting my foot down on this one. Is this made of dog hair? No? Human? Bummer. What's the strangest hair you have in the store? I mean, everything I make is at least 5% cat hair, but that's through accident. Neighbors sound like a-holes. Oh, my neighbors are the worst. They used to throw crazy parties, but thank goodness that stopped. At least for the time being. They would also do these things to where, like, they would start a barbecue at, like, 10 p.m. at night. And I'm like, noise ordinance says you need to wrap this shit up by 10:30. We've called the cops on them multiple times because we've gone over there and their music is super loud at midnight and I can't, and we are like banging on the door and ringing the doorbell and no one's answering, so we have to call the cops to come over because we can't get a hold of anyone and the music's just blaring. Christmas Eve, our first year in this house with them as our neighbors, they had a huge rager that started at midnight Christmas Eve. And I was just like, I know a lot of Hispanic cultures they celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, but I'd like to get up Christmas morning to go see my family. It'd be real nice if I could sleep before I did that. So I was the neighbor who had to call the cops on a family. 2 a.m. Christmas morning. They were all upstairs. I could hear them through the upstairs bathroom wall. And I'm just like, this doesn't even make physical sense. Go downstairs to the kitchen. They were all upstairs in one of the bedrooms screaming the same song over and over. And I was just like, fuck this. Calling the cops. Someone donated a bunch of mystery hand spun to the art center, and I suspect it's part dog hair and possibly part people hair. Oh, that's terrible. Rasta? Rasta, we got a deal for you. Oh, part people hair? What? Noah Pierce, we already put in a lot of, we've put in all the complaints we could about our neighbors, and they have toned it down significantly over the last 2 years. But I suspect that's more COVID related than actually them changing their ways. So we'll see if things ramp back up this summer. Nothing better than a family scream song session at 2 in the morning. A drunk family scream song session. Yes. The only way to celebrate Christmas with you and all of your neighbors. On the plus side, the neighbors on the other side of them and us have become very good friends because we have shared police report complaints. Because if one neighbor complains, that's one thing. But if the neighbor on either side of them is complaining, then you're much more likely to get an officer dispatched in our area for a disturbance of the peace. Drunk as a skunk. Oh, they absolutely were. We are spinning merino wool. This is pure merino. Um, um, you're. This is the first of 4 plies for socks, and it's just delicious. 0% animal hair apart from sheep. 100% sheep wool. That's delicious. As long as we. Yep, this is just a good old merino. Nice and soft and fluffy. Not necessarily my favorite to spin, but I am enjoying the spin immensely. It's a good palette cleanser. My favorite thing to spin is BFL. But that's also because it makes the most delicious socks. Right now I'm just in love with this color. It is all sorts of unicorn deliciousness. It calls to me.
It looks so delicious.
It's not treated with anything to bring down the itchiness of it. What is Toonies? Is that a brand of? Is that a brand of sheep? Is that a breed of sheep? Or is that how, like, a preparation? Like Punies, but Toonies? It's a kind of sheep. I've never heard of them. I will absolutely research them afterwards. There's also kind of one of those things to where, like, different kinds of wool are just good for different things. And it's just kind of figuring out what the breed you need is for the thing you want to make. Yes, I do. And please do. I would love to see it. My mom really wants an alpaca because I knit a hat out of baby alpaca and she thinks it's the softest thing ever. And then she found out that you could keep them as pets here and they're like decent backyard pets. And she really wants an alpaca. And I'm really trying to tell her that this sounds like a terrible idea for her, but like a great idea for me. She thinks they're adorable. She's like, and I could pet it and comb it and wash its hair, and then you could spin it up and knit with it. Then I sent her that meme that's like the difference between an alpaca and a llama. And it's like a llama eats trash and has a knife hidden in its fur. And is only born in like a abandoned carnival atmosphere. I was like, why are you finding on the internet? It's funny. I enjoy it. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can put it anywhere you like, Noah. Anywhere you'd like. Is the sheep your grandparents raised? An American sheep. It's much too hot in Florida to raise sheep. Poor things. But apparently alpacas are okay with the heat. Which I find extremely interesting. Because there are alpaca farms down here. And of course, right as I find them, everything closes for COVID, so I haven't gotten to go visit any of them. I'm very intrigued in visiting them someday soon.
So
I'll say the one thing I haven't done is I haven't gotten raw fleece and then had to like scour it and process it and comb it. So I don't know if I'm really set up to take raw fleece. Although it's something I would like to do someday. It's a link, but it has a pic on it. BRB, no problem. I'll take a look here in a hot second. Also, it'll also be break time because unfortunately when I spin, I do need to take more breaks more often to stretch the legs since I'm sitting in just the one attitude and I can't really stretch out because I need my feetses to do the pedalings. So we'll spin this last bit of fluff and then we'll take a look and then we'll take a break and then we'll keep going. Yeah. Maybe we'll play with the camera settings to pull the brightness down just a smidge. Although it's pretty spot on, this is a very light yarn. Floor monster is now the hallway monster. She's sitting in the hallway staring at me. Waiting for her chance. Weavy, good morning! Grew up in Florida and yes, hot. I don't think my parents could keep an alpaca though. I don't think my mom should have an alpaca. Also, you have to have more than one alpaca because they like to hang out in groups. Sounds like so now we have a three alpacas versus none, and I'm like, this is getting extremely out of hand.
The only, I mean, it varies from literally neighborhood to neighborhood, so it's impossible to tell. Jammy Jeepers. We're in Central Florida. Weavy, thank you for the biddies, my dude. How are you? How's the weekend? How are things going? Did you survive last night? Weavy was hanging out with Damien last night. I could tell they were having a grand old time. Got rained out. Oh no! Do you have any? Do you have? Is there like an alternative date or time, or is it just out of luck? Near West Palm Beach. Yeah, it's much cool. Well, the beaches, the more touristy you are, the weirder the rules get. Yakalicious was on a roll. Mimi, thank you for the biddies. Couldn't even say goodbye. Do you have anything you would you would not shut us by hole? Do you have anything else fancy planned for the weekend since you got rained out then? Or you just out of luck? I had to leave to make breakfast, cooked 2 sausage patties, but dropped one on the floor, moving them to the plate. Washed it, but couldn't bring yourself to eat it. I have definitely washed things and ate them, but I also know the cleanliness of my floor. Um, I've definitely lived places where I would not eat anything that we dropped on the floor. I was like, it's not safe. Don't eat it. Yakalicious was on a roll last night. Hold it too much against him. Also, the house, he's gonna have to play nice with this new sister-in-law who's now married all weekend, so I try not to give him too much guff. He's on sister duty this weekend. Shopping for landscaping equipment, hard to find. No one wants to go back to work. We are backed up. No one wants to go back to work in a job where they aren't making enough money to actually be able to pay bills, is what it is. What wheel should you get as a beginner? Noah, I would actually recommend this wheel. I love it. It is a beautiful beginner's wheel. It is significantly less expensive if it's something that you're not really certain that you want to do. Or you don't necessarily have the funds to invest. It also, because of the way that it stands upright, it doesn't lean one way or another. So, like, I'm a right-handed person, but I draft left-handed. So I would almost do better with a more left-handed wheel setup. But that's not something that I knew until I was sitting at a wheel. Um, so something that's straight and not oriented. It's also very small and compact. Um, you can buckle it into the front seat of a car amazingly well. It's very portable. And then the nice thing about this one is it does have a lazy Kate setup for plying already. So it is very self-contained as far as number of extra tools and toys you would need, kind of thing. Whereas if I got a fancier wheel, it would just be one bobbin at a time and I'd have to purchase a separate lazy Kate, which is the goal eventually. But I heckin' love this wheel in the meanwhile. I'd like to see about painting it at some point, but I just have not gone around to Noah, if you do exclamation mark wheel. Thank you, Jammy Jeepers. Yes. This is the Woolmaker's Bliss. And Woolmaker's Bliss is actually a subdivision of Louette. So they do know what they're doing. And then the other nice thing is it's all ball bearings based, so you actually don't have to oil this wheel. I should get some graphite powder for it eventually. I think is what you use to lube up the ball bearing kind of deal. I know that's what you use in like the Boy Scout soapbox. What do you call the little cars where you have to carve them out? Not the soapbox. The little tiny wooden racers. They use the graphite powder to make the wheels spin super fast. So I need to look it up. But I haven't needed to lube it or do anything. I've had it for 3 years. I think my only complaint about this thing is that if the bobbin gets a little off balanced, it does chatter a little bit. There is just a little bit too much here, so it can chatter, but I enjoy the sound, but my husband does not. Do they have motorized wheels, or would that take the fun out of spinning? They absolutely do, Bash. If you watch Yarn Crafters Corner, Serena, we often raid her. She has an electric eel wheel, which is a little desktop e-spinner. It, depending upon if you like it or not, they can be super fun and super convenient. They're amazing for streaming because they sit right on your desktop. That's expensive, but it looks like it's worth it. Noah, this is a cheap wheel. Believe it or not. At the time, this was about 400, 500 with all the extra bits and odds and ends and shipping. And my next cheapest option was 800. I have not looked at the price recently, unless they've jacked it up immensely. It is still quite cheap compared to other wheels. Nope, it's still relatively the same price. I think it went up like 20 pounds. You're a good woodworker. Do you think you could make a wheel? Absolutely. There's plenty of plans. There's people who've made wheels out of like PVC pipes and bicycle wheels. There are a ton of plans online. You could absolutely make your own wheel. Is that cheap for what you're talking about? Yeah, this wheel is a budget wheel. Let me find you like a standard. Go to the Woolery. Spinning wheels. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the next ones, they all start super crazy high. So like these are the same setups as what I have, but the other thing is like they're all solid wood and whatnot. I would eventually love the Kromsky Symphony is the setup that I like, but I probably would get the flat iron one. I'd have to look and see. But yeah, wheels get crazy expensive. Crazy fast. You don't want to invest. See, so that Noah, I would absolutely get a spindle and see if you like spinning. I love spinning on a spindle. It's just not very fast. Uncreative Automaton, good morning. Hello. This is the one I'd want, but I want it in the opposite setup. The shacked flat iron would be amazing, but this one's set up as a right-handed, and I would have to have it set up as a left-handed. But yeah, wheels are expensive. Expensive. The Shacked Reeves cherry spinning wheel would be delightful. We are absolutely looking at toys. We're spinning this morning, so we're talking about spinning wheel prices. Is what we're in the middle of doing. Let's see if they have the. Let's see. I want the Shack. Yeah, I don't think they. I think they only make it as a right-hand setup, and I'm a left-handed draw, so I'd have to find out if you could flip it. Here we go. Can be assembled with a flyer on the right or the flyer on the left. Packs flat for shipping. So that, but opposite. Um, let's go to my old friend the Etsy's. So if you so here, let's do this. So an electric eel wheels are way cheap. Electric wheels are much cheaper than standard wheels. So if you want to see someone spinning on an electric wheel, Yarn Crafter's Corner does a ton of it. And also Strange Knits just got a tiny one. Although she hasn't been streaming as much with the end of school. I imagine she'll stream a lot more this summer. But she is taking a break while the end of the school season kind of wraps up. Snyder Spindles makes his own drop spindles out of wood. Snyder Spindles. And that's amazing to watch him make the drop spindles. It's so much fun. So I do highly recommend you checking him out. If you are a woodworker, you absolutely could make your own. Lots of good spindle videos on YouTube, yes. Seen some really nice spinning wheels in people's homes just as works of art. They absolutely can be. Like these are just the plain ones, and most of the ones you're looking at were unfinished. Like that doesn't involve like the wood carving that can go on. You want to see a fancy spinning wheel? Fancy. You want to see some fancy spinning wheels? They're I can't remember the site. They make these gorgeous handcrafted, hand carved spinning wheels that are just stupid gorgeous. Good morning, Notch. Gotta go walk the doggos. Noah, take those doggos out. Have a nice day. If you come back, we'll chat with you. If not, no problem. And dudette, new word? Definitely not a new word. That is not a new word at all. Here we go. Gold ring. Here we go. These are some fun spinning wheels that are gorgeous. Gorgeous. You haven't seen any drop spindlers on Twitch? Who was it? Get in my mailbox. What's her new name? Freckled Fiberworks did a lot of drop spindling on stream. I like this one with the architecture to it. That's a $12,000? Yes, because it was hand carved and had hand stained glass work. This one's only 8,000 only. It's also gorgeous. Yeah, these are fancy wheels and they're delightful. Yeah, this Ocean Life one, but this is all hand carved. You can't put that on like a lathe kind of deal. You need the one from Sleeping Beauty. That's the one, that's the traditional one where it has like the wheel on one side and then the spindle on the other side is the one that I would like because it leans left-handed and I draw with my left hand. Anyway, so those are fancy spinning wheels if you want to get into fancy. You can go as fancy or not fancy as you want. Castle style, I guess. It would just be nice to have a more, because since I draw left-handed, it would be nice to have a left-handed wheel. And usually those are more lefty friendly. Bam came back upstairs. That's all right. No problem, Jammy. Anyway, I have my wheel out and we were talking about wheels. I was trying to explain how cheap my wheel is and then pulled the other ones up for comparison to prove how cheap my wheel is. It's definitely a budget beginner friendly wheel, but I absolutely adore it. There's also no, the best thing to do is to find a hand-me-down wheel, but there are not a lot of spinners in Florida, so I have not had the opportunity to get a lot of secondhand things down here. Because usually they sell it all and then they move to Florida. So they don't bring it with them. And there are spinners here, but they are few and far between, and their asking prices were still out of my budget range at the time. Maybe you could decorate this one with narwhal stickers. Eventually, I'd love to paint it. But I haven't felt brave enough yet. Simply Pickles, good morning! Hello! We're spinning wool into yarn. We're hanging out. I'm actually going to take a break here relatively soon because we've been going for almost 2 hours and I do absolutely need to stand up and stretch my legs. We were just talking about how I need to stretch more often when I'm spinning. So let's do this. Let's switch bobbins. Or switch hooks, I should say. Take a hot break. You need to come bug me. You can come bug me anytime you want. Hope things are going all right for you. And out. We're doing, this is the first of our, if you guys are just joining us, this is the first ply of our 4-ply socks. We're doing our Floof to Foot series. We did this last year. It was a ton of fun. So we are taking a braid of yarn. We are spinning it up into sock yarn, plying it on stream, and then knitting it into socks all together so you guys can see the process start to finish. Also, this yarn, or this wool, is just freaking delicious and fun and just unicorn farty as hell. The inner child is very excited by all the pastels. Doesn't your hubby draw? He could make it look fabulous. He probably could if he could be bothered. He also isn't exactly known for draw. Like, I'd love to put like flowers and things all over it. He's not exactly known for his flower art amongst the land. Oddly enough, flower drawing was never really a hobby my husband took up. Can't imagine why. You haven't tried my hand blended Rolex? I have not. I would love to. Someday. Someday I'm going to get all the money and I'm just going to go around to everyone and be like, all right, I would like to buy your finest XYZ, please. And then I'll just go down the list. I'm also working off of a lot of stash items. This was a Christmas present. Trying to spin up what I have. Although I did fall down. Nitpicks has a sale going on right now. And I've been desperate to try their Wool of the Andes yarn. And I did accidentally purchase a sweater quantity of yarn to spin, or wool to spin from them. So we'll apparently give them a try real hard. Since I invested real hard. Maybe he draws great and beautiful flowers. Have you ever tasked him with it? Notch, you are right. I have not. But first we'll have to get him out of bed. Which seems like a task in and of itself. You've never seen anyone spin your preps before? We'll make a deal, Simply Pickles. We'll talk. I would at the very least love to pay you for the supplies. Or shipping. Or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. We'll make a deal. Also, this will work out great because my husband's in the process of getting a P.O. box. So we will soon be able to make all of the deals with all the peoples. Have I ever knit a sweater? Bash? Absolutely. Have I ever completed a sweater I liked? No. I've knit multiple sweaters. Well, that's not true. I have knit multiple sweaters for other people that fit just fine, that they enjoyed immensely. I have not knit one for myself that I liked. I've gotten very close and then I've frogged it kind of thing. So I have not completed a sweater that I liked. Although the birthday sweater is coming along great, although very slowly. It took a big hit in production due to Sock Madness. I haven't touched it. But the front is almost done. Like it's as done as it can be without doing the back to find out how much longer because it's bottom up in pieces. So the front is almost done. It might need one more repeat, but I can't tell until I finish the back and then try it on to see how long I want it to be. On the back, we were coming along on pretty okay. We were at 6 inches in. But then I was trying it on and I didn't like the fit of it. So I'm changing the size. So I've reknit it and I'm like 3 inches into the back. Because then what you do is you seam the front and the back together along the shoulders, and then you pick up the stitches and then knit the sleeves shoulder down. So in process. And that one but I'm also taking a lot more time on it, and I'm enjoying it much more. I have a weekender sweater that I need to pull out and finish, but I stole the needles for the Winter's Moon knit along. And I need to finish the Winter's Moon so I can finish the weekender sweater. Which I will also be working on here very shortly. Now that Sock Madness is over. Alright, I said I was going to take a break and that I was just going to switch, and then I just kept spinning. So let's do this. For reals this time. I'm going to take a break. It's not going to be... Well, it's going to be a little... Well, it's going to be medium long. I was going to say it's not going to be terribly long, and then I was like, I need to stretch. It's going to be medium long. Hopefully, it will actually be 5 minutes. You're nut and got a US size 35mm crochet hook on clearance. It's huge. I bet it's going to make the biggest, squishiest blanket, though. I bet it would be very fun to work with.
back to this. Boop. Trying swatching in the round for the first time for socks. I may have regrets. Usually for socks, I'll just go, well, that's not true. Currently for socks, I'll just go and I'll like, it's small enough, I'll just frog it or roll the dice. But when I first started knitting socks, that was not the case. The nice thing is once you find out like your gauge as far as like your stitch count and your needle size for your standard sock that fits you, then it's super easy to base other patterns upon that. It's super easy to switch as needed once you figure it out. There's a tiny, it's a cat butt. It's the Terror of Trollenberg. It's there. Hey, boop. Your old cat used to hiss at birds through the window. Our cats click at the lizards in the window. They like chatter at it. It's very cute. You're 100% sure he isn't leaving because he was supportive of your dog hair spinning. Rasta, he's a keeper. Put a ring on that. During the whole sock knitting workbook thing. Okay. Then why would you have regrets? I feel like that would work. Worst comes to worst, it's a slightly waste of time, but I really feel like it's not that much of a waste of time at that point. Look how fluffy this wool is turning out. It's so delightful. Oh, you regret the yarn you picked. Ah. That happens. All right, there we go. All right. Okay. Get back to it. Will I still follow Sock Madness and who wins and who loses? Yes. I'm not as active in my team chat as I intended to be. I'm still following along. Yarn Crafters Corner that we shouted out earlier is still in it to win it. And there's still some folks in Discord and on Twitch in general who are still participating. So I at least want to see where they end up and keep following along with them. And I'll definitely keep following the patterns because I like watching the patterns. And Cardinal Creations, thank you for the host. Oh, Allie, I was watching your stream the other day and I meant to say something, but now I can't remember what I was gonna say. But hello. Actually, we're gonna give Cardinal Creations a shout out. She was doing, I can't remember what she was doing. I'm gonna have to pull up her channel. Shout out Cardinal Creations 10, if I remember correctly. Yeah. They were making a cat couch. That's what they were. Allie was crocheting a cat couch. And I wanted to tell her how invested I was in the outcome of it. So highly recommend you check her out. She's adorable and so much fun. And also crochets, which is a thing I do not do. So if you want to get your crochet on, I highly recommend her. My wrists, they do not like the crochet. Crocheted in the past, but it is not for me. Yeah, at the very least, Bash, I'm still following the patterns because I still get all the patterns in the end. So I'm still getting the rounds as they drop,
And if I were to just decide to knit a round and I finished the socks before the round ends, I'd still get the bonus pattern for it if I wanted. Or I'd get all the patterns at the end of the competition regardless in June. So I'm still following along. I'm still intrigued at what happens. I feel like dropping out when I did was very good timing for me, because even if I had murdered myself trying to finish the last round of socks, I would not have had time to finish this round. This round is moving very quickly.
Does it have holders for snacks?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just like a grandma's love seat looking kind of deal, but cat sized. She was just starting it on the last stream. But if you want to see how it ends, you'll have to just give her a follow. Also, she's a very nice friend of the stream, so I recommend you follow her just because she's fun. She's adorable and fun to hang out with regardless. She was previously Miss Allie 10, and I believe she changed her name to Cardinal Creations 10 from Miss Allie. Yeah, but there's this trend, and it was popular at the very, very beginning of the pandemic, that I thought would be fun, and then I just never had the time to deal with. Where you crochet a tiny cat-sized couch and then filled it full of polyfill. And they look freaking adorable. Let's see if I can pull up your stream real fast. Here we go. This is Miss Allie. She crochets super fast too. But you can see in the corner here, this is what the cat couch will look like. It's a little kitty-sized couch bed thing. It looks adorable. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Go check her out, dang it. You said only Scandinavians win Sock Madness anyway? Well, generally speaking, yes. But not always. But they are generally the ones who knit like the sock in 18 hours. Previously. But it's also because they've been knitting for like they learn to knit in school, and it's just part of the culture. So they've all been knitting for like 20 years by default, no matter how old they are. And the way that they're taught to knit is much more ergonomic, so it is much faster in general. So it's always very interesting to kind of take a look at it. Let's put it this way, I was never going to win regardless. I might have gotten very close to winning for my team, but I was never going to win for Sock Madness. I also don't think I would have won on my team this year, but I did feel like I was very well placed for my team. But just looking at the socks that have come out, like I just would not have had the brain capacity to deal with those socks if I had still been in the competition. So if I hadn't dropped out last round, I absolutely would have dropped out this round. Not because they were hard, it's just because, I don't know if you saw on Yarn Crafters Corner stream, but there was like 20 extra strings per sock that were hanging out. Because every additional line was a different string that you just had to hang on. It was a lot, and my brain would have melted. It would have looked not cute. You'd have to have a massive one because your cat is a chunk. I'd have to have a large one because Pearl is just one of the world's largest cats. She's just a huge cat. She is so long, and she's just got big bones. She's just a very large cat. She is also not exactly the world's lightest very large cat either. But it would be a massive couch. It would just be easier to buy the cat a separate IKEA couch at this point. I'll just buy her an armchair of her own. Also, all of my cats like to sit higher up if at all possible. So I don't know how well they'd appreciate that couch unless I put that couch like on the coffee table. And then they'd love it. For coffee to cool, going to the off-leash park with your mom and her dog. That sounds fun. I love the dog park. Those are always super fun. It's more fun when you have a dog, though. It's weird when you're just a lady sitting there. I'm just kidding. I haven't done that. Like a kid's couch? Yeah. Yeah. It would be way easier to just get my cat one of those than it would be to make her one, since she's so large. But again, I also don't crochet, so already it doesn't matter what size the couch is. I'm already like, I don't know. My wrists, they do not like it. I have tried. They said, no, thank you. I like the flicking method of knitting, because then you make the needle do all the work. It's much easier on the hands. Wrists for me. Dan, I hope the weather's nice where you are. I know Weavy got rained out of his thing today. It looks like it's gonna rain here, but I've been assured by the Weather Channel that it is not, which is unfortunate because it's really dry here. It's very dry and very hot, which is a very poor combination. Last night we had some heat lightning. I was surprised. Not very much of it, though. Just enough to be very nervous. Anybody got any fancy weekend plans? Told you guys my plan. Hanging out with Ginger Zone for a sister weekend. I'm very excited. She lives in town-ish, but on the other side of town, so like not close enough for us to just swing by each other's places on the regular, but definitely close enough to where we should hang out more. But she also works overnights, but soon we'll be switching to the afternoon PM shift. So we're hoping to get some more sister dates going. Today she got home at 8 a.m. and then is napping, so we can hang out, which is super weird to me. But I've done the graveyard shift. I know how it works. Been there, done that. No, thank you. I don't know if you guys can see it on the wheel. I have like this fun orangey peachish colored yarn that I just finished spinning. So I'm going to be applying that this week. Um, Maybe we'll do it on stream Tuesday, actually, now that I think about it. Flying is super fun. It takes forever, though, but it's super fun. It's the fun part, because then you get to see how the yarn's going to turn out. And you get to see if all your hard work was worth it. So maybe we'll do that on stream on Tuesday. But then off stream, I will be starting to spin that super fun oil slicky navy black raven feather wool for our wingspan shawl. So that will be I'll be spinning that off stream while we're doing this. While we're doing our sock spin, and then once the socks are knit up, I will probably go back to doing it on stream if it's not finished by then. But knitting the wingspan shawl will absolutely, and plying it will absolutely be on stream, because that's the fun part. Just posted your winter's moon cal in Discord while it's blocking. Heck yeah. I have like half a skein left. I'm so close to finishing mine. I told you guys you would all finish yours before I finished mine. No one believed me. And it's true. I'm notorious at not finishing things. So bad at it. This is gorgeous. Yes. Look at this. Look at this beauty. That turned out so good. And it looks like your lace is so evenly spaced. I love it. We did this as a knit along. We were knitting it on stream. I got to about here, almost halfway before we stopped knitting it together on stream when Sock Madness started. So I'm like right about here-ish. I have like a half a skein left, and I need to just commit to the last smidge. You can. Oh, Rasta, that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind. We have an Apple TV. And for the longest time, we would just screen mirror it because we hated the Twitch app on it. Or use a third-party app, but they finally fixed the Apple TV app. When they allowed you to subscribe on your iPhone, they finally fixed the app. So I know that Apple products are good. And I know Samsung TV products have a built-in Twitch app, although it's a pain in the buns to log in. So it's great to watch, but terrible to chat. And that's the extent of my Twitch experience. My Twitch casting, I should say. I can't wait to wear it is the thing, is I'm just so ready to wear that all the time because it's so big and squishy because it's DK weight. But I just need to get butt in share time to finish it, and I haven't because Sock Madness took priority. Which is fine because then I've been going back and finishing up a lot of projects. So, been knitting a lot of second socks now that I'm in the sock mode. But soon I will be tired of socks, and I will go back to knitting the Winter's Moon cal. It's my goal to finish knitting the Winter's Moon before I start the wingspan shawl. It's the dream. But that's why I made it a cal once because I know a bunch of you were really nervous about it, and so it makes me so happy to see you guys finishing it and being like, it was fun. But also because then it would hold me accountable, so I had to finish it. I warned you guys, I'm terrible. I'm a very slow knitter. It looks like I knit so fast because I knit socks so fast, but on anything that's a larger scale, I'm a very slow knitter. And that's fine. It is what it is. But that's also why I'm keep telling you guys we're gonna knit the Raven's Wing together, or the wingspan shawl together. I'm calling it my Raven's Wing because it's out of the colorway is Raven that I'm spinning for it. It is my goal to spin and knit this. I want to spin more, knit more hand spun. So this is the wool that I'm talking about that I'll be spinning off stream. It's slightly more purpley black in real life. It is very oil slicky almost. It has this sheen to it that cannot be captured on camera with the purple. So this is what I'll be knitting. So we'll do that. So Tuesday on stream we'll ply all of this together, and then on when I'm doing my like 15 minutes of daily spinning, I'm gonna start this, and then while we're finishing this up on stream. But believe it or not, this is one ply of the 4-ply. I got 12 ounces because it's like 2.5 skeins. I want a big one. I want to Dracula it up in this thing. I want it to be large and magnificent. And then if I have extra, I'm totally making like a beret out of it to match. One of those big old slouchy things I can pin onto the back of my head. That yarn will not go to waste. I love it. I love it. The string player! Hey girl, what's up? What is shaken bacon? How are things going? Do you have finals? I know you're a teacher. How is end of school year going? Editing senior photos. There it is. That's the question. Well, good luck. Lurk away. Do your thing. We'll get you a shout out here in a second. Oh, school. I'm so glad you're over. We're doing all right. We are spinning up this gorgeous cotton candy fluff for our socks. This is our second annual Floof to Foot spin, where we're going to spin sock yarn, ply it, and knit it all together. Together, start to finish. We did this last summer, and it was a ton of fun. And it forces me to knit with my hand spun more, which is the goal. So there's that. You love the socks I'm wearing. These are, I don't know if you can really see. These are just some good old Knit Picks yarn. They need a shave. They're in desperate need of a shave. They're just, they're good old Knit Picks Hawthorne, I think. I want to say the colorway is Burlingame. Just some good old vanilla socks. These were actually some of the first socks. I think these were the second pair of socks for me I've ever made. You're in desperate need of a shave. Don't look too closely at them. Very pilly. So fancy. They are not fancy. That's the beautiful thing about it. They're just plain old vanilla socks. I think these were my first 2 at a time socks. But like my second or third pair of socks ever. They were kind of the socks that got me hooked, I guess, now that I think about it. That is fair to say. Because of course my first pair of socks were super fancy. So I picked a pattern that was probably it wasn't too hard for me as a knitter. It was much too hard for me as a sock knitter though. So as a regular knitter, they were fine. What do you use to shave your socks? I use the cheap, crappy, I say crappy, but it works just fine. The cheap old Knit Picks sweater shaver. Because I should get a fancy cleaner, but I just use the crappy old, $7 Knit Picks sweater shaver thing. And it works great. Never would have thought I had this conversation. The things you learn. The things you learn. Here, I'll show you guys. We'll get this off so y'all can see what I'm talking about. They have, I don't know if you can see this. They are all fuzzy. The camera's not picking it up. There's a lot of like these little pills on it. Y'all can't see that. It's fine. It's for the best. But anyway, they're a little extra fuzzy, and it just looks like they need a little love. But then you shave them up, and they get all smooth, and then they look like they're brand new again, and it's magic. And I just love the fact that you can give them a quick go over, and then it looks like they're brand new again. Tad of a halo, but not real noticeable on camera. It is extremely noticeable IRL. It does not look like a halo in real life. It looks like they're fuzzy and they need some help. It looks like they're made out of mohair at this point. It's not cute in real life. So as long as it looks great on camera, I'm like, you know what? Great. Excellent. They also need a wash, but that'll be next weekend. That's kind of the thing. I'll wear them around for like a week or two, and then they'll go in the bucket, and then I'll wash the whole bucket at the same time, and then dry them, and then clean them, and then fold them and put them away. Circle of sock life. Gaming household. But again, I just love the idea that you can take like an old sweater or something that looks like it's had it, and then give it a, shave and a haircut 2-bit kind of deal, and then it looks brand new. I have a store-bought cashmere sweater, and it's like dry clean only, and I was like, whatever. And I put it in with the wool wash, and then I gave it a little shave because cashmere gets very pilly, and it looks like I just bought it, and I love that. It's the whole make, wear, mend thing that I get all jazzed up about. As long as it looks great on camera. That's the motto of the whole stream. You guys can see it? Great. Nailed it. Good enough. Flying from a center pole ball was going so well, and now everything is tangled. Oh. I cannot ply from a center pole ball for made of singles. I just can't. It eats it every time. It's impossible. I think that is the number one reason why I got um the spinning wheel is because I was tired of my spinning eating my plies. Because that's what's so nice about a Turkish spindle is then you have this center pole ball and it would just tangle and be a mess and I would just have to cut so much of it out and I was like, this is such a waste. But by that point I was already hooked and looking for my next big fix, so a spinning wheel was only a matter of time. Was only a matter of time. Guys, look at this. Just a little bit more, and then we're done with the first half of our first ply. Doing great. This is spinning up way faster than my spin last year. I can definitely tell how much my spinning speed and consistency has improved in the last year. Which makes me very, very happy. Oh, I was going to give the string player a shout out. There we go. Let's do that before I forget. Guys, go check out the string player. One, they play the cello on stream and it's super cool. Two, they also do fun crafty things like making hand knit up or hand crocheted upside down hearts and putting little IT guy characters on shirt pockets with embroidery. It's super fun. And they're cute to boot. And they're cute to boot. Let's see. Things that are happening. There's no craft night this weekend. And there's actually no craft night next week. Next week is a 5th Saturday. A rare 5th Saturday. So there's no scheduled activity, but that doesn't mean that Hinka or I may not stir one up. But next Saturday at 2 p.m. we are having a Discord movie afternoon, and we are a Discord movie afternoon, and we're watching My Neighbor Totoro. So we'll stream, and then we'll stream until like 1:45. We'll take like a 15-minute break, and then we'll hop over to the Discord and get the movie going. So I'm very excited about that. Noah, you're back. Hello. Yeah, we've been going for a while. Well, let's see, what is it? It's 12:18 local time, so we'll probably go until 1. So that I can get some lunch before my sister comes over for our sister date. Also, so I can make sure that the office is clean, because she'll be sleeping in here. We got one of those super fancy queen size air mattresses that are like raised up with a inflatable headboard and everything. She's gonna test it out. I have to make sure the floor is safe. So right now the floor is currently lava, which makes it real awkward to sleep on. Umber Hulk, what are you trying to say? Your neighbor is named Megan? What? What are you doing? What's going on here?
I'd say Tuesday that we'd ply this and then do a game, but I'm pretty sure plying this peachy yarn here is going to take most of the stream. So probably do that, and then we'll see if Thursday I spin this or we game. But on the weekends especially, I'm going to try and make sure that our Saturday streams are always a crafting stream moving forward. Unless I'm just not feeling it. For those of you playing the at-home game. Umberhulk, you have to explain yourself. You can't just drop in a weird random segue like that and then bounce. And then he leaves. I would like to get back into Fallout 76. Speaking of Umberhulks, I would like to get back out into Fallout 76 this summer, so that's also a goal to start back out now that I'm not crazy stressed all the time. Maybe we could convince the boys to play with us. I also would like to go back and play Fallout 4. I started my streaming career once upon a time playing Fallout 4, and then everyone convinced me to get Fallout 76 so we could all play together, and I would really like to go back and play more Fallout 4. Maybe that's what we'll do on Thursdays. For thought. I say that, but I'm probably going to be so excited to finish spinning this. Took 4 hours to install it and it won't play sound in the game. Oh no. That's rather important. That's a bummer. We were playing a ton of games, but then we never but then we got a second camera and I haven't gone back because I get so into the games that they get me all riled up. So if I come into it already stressed out, I'm just yelling at the game the whole time. Switched yarns, much less regret. Good. That is the only problem with socks, is that sometimes the really fun yarns just do not work out and is very hard to tell until you start knitting them. Something wrong with it, so you have to have Alex look at it. It may just be a stupid default setting. We had sound problems on Tuesday's stream, and that was because it was defaulting the sound, and it wouldn't reroute the sound. It would only default to the main sound source, so I had to change my main sound source. And I said, "Oh, Steam, thanks for nothing." And then we fixed it. Wasn't even a fun yarn. It was Clown Barf that I don't remember how I got. Clown Barf can work for vanilla socks. Sometimes not. Certainly not to learn. The problem with Clown Barf is it's impossible to read your knitting. So it may still make good sock yarn, but Definitely not for beginning, and definitely not for trying to count gauge. Oof. Just thinking of some neon rainbow clown barf that I've had sitting around that I really should knit up with. And I'm sure it would make great socks, but my goodness, it looks like it's gonna sear my eyes out to knit it.
The yarn is so old that it's
Splitting. Well, some yarns are just more splitty than others too, which makes it even harder. You've never used clown barf? Jammy Jeepers, how do you live? You gotta live life on the edge. That clown barf is it especially looks, it can be especially deceiving because it looks good wound up in a skein, and then you wind it up and you're like, what happened here? And when it's in a cake. But it's just all the colors. So many colors. And they usually clash in some way that you think will look cool, but then doesn't. And it's very short color repeats. It's not like a longer color repeat, of course. You were gonna game. Umber Hulk, that's alright. You said it and it was so cryptic, and then you didn't come back. That's funny.
Weevy, welcome back. Thank you for the biddies. Did you find something else to occupy your Saturday with, or are you just
creeping around? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with creeping around, but I know that was not your plans for today.
You're very careful when you're buying yarn to imagine how it'll look knit up.
I am less careful because I know even if it looks terrible, it'll make a decent sock yarn. It'll make a decent pair of vanilla socks. I'm like, whatever.
You know who likes your $25 Fancy Smancy Hills Science Diet?
Not cats.
Nope. Trash pandas. Trash pandas love the good stuff.
I love a good trash panda. They're so cute. The trash pandas in the new Sonic movie made me laugh hysterically.
Also, guys, if you have Amazon Prime, they put the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie on Amazon Prime, and Damien and I watched it, and I have to say, it was quite enjoyable now that they fixed Sonic and he didn't look like nightmare fuel anymore. It was actually a pretty good movie. I take it in at night, but when I forget, Trash Panda Patrol. It is so good. Yes!
Rasta can confirm.
Laughed the whole time.
I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. And I'm not a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. But I actually wish they'd make a sequel. I thought it was really good. I thought James Marsden was way better in it than I thought he would be. because he's playing the straight man, and he doesn't generally play the straight man really well. He plays overly dramatic or overly comedic. He doesn't play the subtle tones very well, but he was the straight man, and it was actually quite good.
Everyone did a good job.
Even Weavy liked it. That's not a ringing sense of endorsement. I don't know what is. All I know is when they first put out the poster and the original trailer for it, I was like, you cannot pay me to watch that Nightmare Fuel. Burn it down. But then they fixed it. And it was actually quite good. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. When you don't have human baby teeth, you look great. Human baby teeth and crazy eyes and nightmare hands. Damien was trying to convince me that it was a PR ploy, and I was like, if that was a ploy, it backfired so hard. But I have to give them so much credit for going back and fixing all the animation. Do y'all remember how terrifying Sonic looked before they fixed him? Nightmare fuel. Let's look. Sonic animation before and after. Nightmare fuel. No more terrifying than Damien looks? I beg to differ. Look at this. Look at this nightmare fuel. The texture was bad. The actual animal nose was bad. The tiny human teeth was terrible. It was so bad. And the animation was bad, which was doubly upsetting. Old Sonic looks more Uncanny Valley. Yeah. Just terrifying. I just want to be like, y'all know what this used to be. This was a video game, right? Why does he look like a tiny blue child? He's a hedgehog. Why does he have human teeth? Way more, let's invite this creature to be a part of our family. Well, like, even the texture was creepy. They looked at Detective Pikachu and said, let's do that. That is a good point. But Detective Pikachu uh, doesn't look like nightmare fuel. Like, I can understand. Here's the thing.
I can 1000% them. I can 1000% them understand making the first version and doing a mock-up, and then someone should have said, "No, this isn't gonna work." But instead they doubled down, and the problem is the doubling down bit. Fiber Mage, hello. Yes, we are spinning. But they pulled Pikachu off. Yeah, they did not do that for Sonic. Bash, we played Papers, Please for Tuesday. And then I ended up canceling Thursday's stream because I didn't want to get out of bed from my nap. Because I was a bum. And I'd like to apologize, but also I was not very sorry about it at the time. It was just nice to be able to cancel a stream because I didn't want to, instead of I mentally cannot, I will die. And I took full advantage of it. So I'm sorry for canceling Thursday's stream. Tuesday we played the heck out of some Papers, Please. Glory to Aristoskia. You don't think you've ever seen me spinning? Here I am. It's proof I can do it. Burr, burr, burr. We're doing the thing we did last year. I think, Mage, you joined us. You found us. We stumbled paths right after this last year. So last year I did a Floof to Foot series where I spun, plied, and knit a pair of socks all together on stream so everyone could see the process. And I think then we joined you right at the end of the summer. That's how we kind of found paths. But I had so much fun doing it last year, I decided to do it again this year. So this is the first ply. We're starting it up. And it's this gorgeous cotton candy yarn we were splitting up. We split up a couple streams ago. I want to speak to the person who thought it looked okay. The problem is it's multiple people, because it was the animator and the animator's boss and then the director and then the executive that okayed it. And I just want to be like, all 4 of you are fired. Do never make things for children again. It had been just one person, that would be another story. Was it a children's movie? Oh yeah. So Jammy Jeepers, what happened was they put out the trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie with the old Sonic, and the internet said, no, I'll see you in hell, is basically what the internet said. They're like, no thank you. So then they reanimated it to the cute hedgehog, to the cute cartoony version. But by then, when the movie, and they delayed the release date, but by then when the movie came out, everyone had this super bad taste in their mouth. They should have waited even longer to release it until it faded from memory, from nightmares. So it flopped at the box office, but it was a really good movie. But now it's on Amazon Prime, and now it's finally been a sufficient enough amount of time to have forgotten about it to go back and watch. So I highly recommend. I think people made too big of a deal over it. I think that if people hadn't made as much of a stink as they had, the studio wouldn't have changed it, is the problem. They had to make a stink to get them to change it, but then no one went back and watched it. We didn't reward the studio for doing the right thing. We should have supported the movie and them reanimating it, but everyone was too grumpy about it.
It was too much of a poor taste. There wasn't enough time to heal wounds. Because it's the first time that a movie put out a trailer and there was a ton of backlash, and then the studio did something about it. Usually they're just like, well, too bad. I guess it'll be a flop. Push harder. More advertising.
Normally when they double down, they really double down.
You think it would have been interesting to do a creepy Sonic movie? I feel like there's a market for it, but I am not that target market. People weren't ready for it, yeah. Jamie, congrats on making it to the next round for Sock Madness, unless I am completely mistaken. Mage would have kicked my tail in Sock Madness. She's a pro. I'm an amateur in comparison. I will, Jamie. I will check out your socks. Probably wait until after stream, though. Unless you want to throw up a link.
Or a picture in Discord.
I'm on a roll. I can't be stopped now. Also, I want to see how far I can get in a stream so I can do a little bit of planning. I figure it might be fun to actually plan streams instead of being like, well, what do we have to do? What's on my to-do list? Let's stream that.
Which is normally what I do.
Yes, you can absolutely post links. Please do. I'm on a roll. I can't be stopped. Bash, you missed the quote earlier where I said that I didn't need a new hobby, because Punk Pixie was trying to talk me into weaving again, which is honestly not hard to do because it sounds really fun. But she was trying to talk me into weaving, and I said I think I'll just take up drugs instead. It sounds like it would be cheaper and less time. So that was really the quote of the stream.
Don't do drugs, kids. Honestly, no one should be surprised about any of the trash that comes out of my mouth. I was also talking about how I loved a good fingering and how I was a whore for a good fingering. I meant was a good fingering yarn or good fingering weight. Did I say that? No. So we'll just leave it. It's fine. You're working on a fingering weight garter stitch blanket that you can only work on the weekends. You started on March 24th and you're already 3/4 of the way through? Oh my gosh. You're a monster.
if I had started it and I could only work on it on the weekends, I would finish it March 24th of 2025. No way. I still haven't finished the advent calendar shawl, and that is just mini skeins and garter stitch. And every time you start a new color, the rows just get smaller and smaller and smaller. But I still haven't done it. Define weaving. Well, Bash, you're just gonna have to check out Punk Pixie Blue's channel. So Punk Pixie Blue does like professional weaving on a loom, a fancy loom that makes like woven texture. It's exactly what you think of when you think of like arts and crafts and a little old lady sitting at a loom. Let's see if we can get a good clip. I'm the machine. That's an amazing special. If you guys haven't seen Bert Chrysler's The Machine, I highly recommend you do so. And it's Nat. Of course it is. Oh, we'll check out Jamie's projects. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. I adore the color combination already. I already want them. There we go. These are Jamie's round 4 socks. I love them. I love these colors. They're very fun. Very fun. And you made the ghost socks. These are fun. These are on the list of things I would like to someday make. Have you guys seen these? These are so cute. Maybe I might make these this year. They're little ghosty socks. They're so cute. They're super fun. Here you go, Bash. This is a quick snippet of Punk Pixie Blue's channel, where she's got a full loom and the weaving set up, and she threads the yarns and does the whole thing. So if you want to see more weaving, you have to go check her out. Just have to go check her out. Excuse me. Punk Pixie is the best. We so the last couple of craft nights, Punk Pixie has taken us on a tour of her loom, and everyone is extremely enthralled by the process. And a real cool dude. Never knew it was called weaving? Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to check her out. She's one of there are some weavers on Twitch, but she is the one who has been weaving the most consistently. So if you're interested in weaving, she's the one I recommend. She's got the kiddo, so her schedule's a little spotty, but she's getting into the groove of things. We did kind of peer pressure her into streaming. So that big orangey mess that she's working on will eventually be a sun blanket. What do you make with weaving? You make most often you make like rugs or wall hangings. If you are machine weaving, then that's how you make like linen fabric and whatnot. She also makes these crazy intricate like scarf patterns, which are amazing. So those are nice. They're really lightweight, but they're very sturdy. A lot of people will make like decorative table runners or tablecloths and things with them. It tends to be more cotton weaving, but you can absolutely use it for like scarves and things. For hand spun are like amazing. 10 out of 10 will recommend, absolutely. In fact, I just did.
A rainbow heart shawl. Ooh.
That's gonna look cool.
So your clothing that you wear has stretchiness to it. It's knit. Clothing that you wear that doesn't stretch at all is more structured, is usually woven.
Yes, thank you, Jamie Jeepers. That's a great way of saying that. All the hearts from me. Also, Punk Pixie's son, Punk Bunny, is obsessed with hearts. So he and Fiber Mage were just destined to be BFFs from the start, which is absolutely adorable. Because what's going to happen is she's going to make you that rainbow heart shawl, and then that kid's going to need one too. Then you'll be twins. Piano lesson time. Jamie Jeepers, have fun. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. Next stream we should be back to our normal Tuesdays and Thursday streams as scheduled. No more interruptions. That's the goal. I'm quite confident that we can make it work now that my life has finally gotten its act back together.
So glad I did this today. Such a relaxing stream to build furniture to.
I'm trying to make all of the Saturday morning streams crafting because they're much more relaxed and they're much more fun on the weekends. And then we get more of the international crowd in, which is always fun as well. Like our lemmings. Who's currently napping, I think. Hopefully. She stayed up way too late past her bedtime the other day. Also, just spinning on the weekend is like... The dream is spinning on spinning in the morning and then napping in the afternoon. It's like it's the best way to spend a weekend. It requires very little thinking of me, which makes it amazing for morning streams. Ross, I'm so glad you guys got the new house and everything is settled. That makes me so happy. You woke up at 7 a.m. today? Is that late for you?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Especially for the summer. Pretty sure that's late considering when the sun comes up. I was thinking about that because the days are getting longer, and when the days start getting shorter again, everyone hates it. And I was like, Mage must be the only one who's happy to have the short days because then she gets to sleep in. The first time you've woken up later than 5 a.m. in 2 weeks. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get more of that. I mean, you will as Mini Mage gets older, but I hope you get more of it soon. I think that's the only reason my parents were like, stay up as late as you want during the summer, because then Nick at Night was on, and all the old shows with Laverne and Shirley and I Love Lucy were on, and my parents were like, great, that's appropriate TV for you. You can stay up as late as you want. You'll probably sleep in the morning. Go for it. Do I care? No. Go for it. You almost always wake up before Mini Mage? Oh no. Then it really is a delight for you. Although I guess that time before Mini Mage is up is probably the quietest alone time you'll get. I can run off of either 4 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep. It must be a 4-hour circadian cycle for me. Like anything else in the middle makes me feel super weird and super groggy. When I worked multiple jobs, I was constantly going off of like 4 hours of sleep with an hour nap here and there. Stop talking about sleeping more than 2 hours. It's not fair. Umber Hulk, I'm just bragging now. It's a humble brag. So if you go to bed early, you get up early. Oh, I mean, that's nice. My problem is I go to bed early and then it doesn't matter when I go to bed, and when I get up, I'm still tired. It felt like. Now it's not so bad. Now that I'm finally catching up on my sleep. Being a mom messed you up when she was a baby. You didn't sleep more than 2-ish hours at a time. I could see that. That's like instinct and just nature timing. We have this much left, so we've gotten through about a little over a half, like 3/5 of our spin so far. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here for today. It is a 3.5-hour stream. I know it's a little short for Saturdays, but I want to make sure I'm ready for when Ginger Zone comes over. Just tying this off, and it's just locking in that twist so it won't unravel while we're off stream.